Kristen, this is Barbara. She's one of our victim advocates. That's what I'm here for, is just to provide some support for you. And okay.
This is 48-year-old Kristen Jensen, currently realizing that her husband was murdered with a samurai sword, a murder she has no idea was committed by her own daughter.
What time was it decided that the sword was going to be it?
Because this is Nicole, and together with her boyfriend, Nicole has spent months planning, plotting, and attempting to murder her own parents. Investigators initially thought that this was the work of a deluded young couple, but what was meant to happen was something far, far worse.
Had you ever planned something for your mom?
Did you get married in a witness ceremony?
Yeah, I'm
Oh, that's good.
Oh, dear, please don't die for me.
On April 21st, 2008, 48-year-old Kristen Jensen stood outside of a hospital in Florida, frantically calling anyone she could get a hold of to come pick her up. Her husband, Gary, was supposed to give her a ride home when she was discharged, but he never showed. Instantly, Kristen knew something was wrong, but it wasn't until she got home with the help of the hospital that she realized just how wrong it was. Inside, her home was in complete disarray. The bathroom door was missing, and so was Gary. Though in the driveway sat his car, on the dresser sat his wallet, his keys, and his phone. Kristen was terrified, and talking to her daughter Nicole and her boyfriend Christopher only strengthened that terror, because Nicole and Christopher casually told her that Gary had gotten into a fight with someone and must have left. But the home reeked of bleach, and Kristen could see tears in her daughter's eyes. She called the police, who quickly brought her in to assess the situation, along with Nicole and Christopher.
Did you drive yourself down to the hospital?
No, he drove me.
How did you get home from the hospital?
Through any transportation.
Okay. You guys only have the one car, right? The truck?
Yes.
Was he supposed to come pick you up on Monday?
Yeah. First he was going to go take John, our friend forever, but he has AIDS. He was supposed to take him to get his medication because he was leaving for Connecticut to speak. He speaks to children and, you know, different age people about AIDS. And he never showed up for John, and he's never done that before. He'd never stand up Johnny. He just wouldn't. What happened to him was Sunday evening between 11 and 1.
Okay. And when was the last time you actually spoke? Do you call him Jerry or Gerald?
Jerry.
Jerry. When was the last time you actually spoke to Jerry?
Sunday afternoon.
What time? Do you remember?
Oh, God.
You put it this way, it would have been after lunch?
Yeah, it was after lunch before dinner.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
About 2:30, something
Okay.
like that.
okay. Did he? What all did you guys talk about? Just normal stuff? Did he sound like he was having any issues, any problems?
No.
The hospital that Kristen was at was actually a rehab center. Kristen has struggled with addiction issues, but for several years had remained clean. That is, until a new stress entered her life. Just 6 weeks after her daughter Nicole had a baby with Chris and moved back into the home, Kristen relapsed and immediately went to get treatment to stop her spiral before it got worse. Unfortunately, her spiral got worse through no fault of her own, because back at home, Chris and Nicole saw an opportunity, and an opportunity that they will soon have to speak to.
And if you want to see more people like them try to weasel their way out of their actions, be sure to like and subscribe to our channel. It's literally all we do here.
So, how many people live in your apartment down there? Who all lives there? It's you
Now?
and Jerry.
Me and Jerry,
Mhm.
Nikki and her boyfriend and the baby.
Okay. And is that one of the 2-bedroom ones down there?
Mhm.
Okay. What's Nicole's boyfriend's name?
Chris.
Okay. How do you like Chris?
I don't.
What don't you like about him?
He's a lazy, inconsiderate brat. He's a piece of shit. I wish Nicole could see it, but she can't.
She's in love. Young and in love.
Very much.
How did it come about that he's living with you guys now?
Well, he just showed up. I've never asked. Nothing.
You ever think of throwing him out?
Every day.
You ever try to throw him out?
A couple times.
What happened?
He'd come back. Because Nikki would, they would just leave and come back and, expect me to apologize for getting them upset.
How did Jerry get along with Chris?
He didn't at all. They barely spoke.
Chris and Nicole actually met online, and while you may be thinking Facebook or Plenty of Fish, it was actually worse than both of those. It was DeviantArt. After talking for a few years, Chris and Nicole struck up a relationship. Chris flew home from Germany, leaving the army behind, and whisked Nicole off to California, where he had grown up. And while California is the dream, it comes with a caveat. You need money, which Chris and Nicole did not have. When Nicole found out she was pregnant at just 18, she fled back to her mom's home. And though her mom didn't approve of her relationship with Chris, she welcomed them in with open arms, wanting them to have a stable place to raise their son. Instead, they used it as their own personal hotel. Chris refused to get a job, help with the baby, or clean around the house whatsoever, and his clear distaste for the very people who had saved him only made the living situation more challenging.
How did Nicole get along with Jerry?
She never has really liked him much when they were little. She wasn't crazy about him then. And then, after she got out of school, in May, I think it was the most excellent month. I finally got a Mother's Day card and a birthday card, because Mother's Day's right there. And she was calling Jerry Dad, and things were just great. And then all of a sudden,
Chris shows up. Okay.
Yeah, she doesn't want to call him Dad anymore. I don't know.
Okay. So now you get home on Monday, and I'm assuming you tried to call the house on Monday. Did anybody answer the phone?
Nicole.
Nicole, and what did she say? Tell me how the conversation went with Nicole when you called the house on Monday.
Well, Chris has to leave for work. I have a doctor appointment, and then Chris has to go to work.
And what time was that?
About 1.
In the afternoon?
But I had started calling at 10:30.
Is that when you got released from the hospital? Was 10:30? Okay.
No, actually, it was around there. I can't remember exactly.
I'm not going to hold you to exact times. It's been a few days. You've had a lot going on. So you start calling the house, no answer. Cell phone's still going to voicemail. But you finally get a hold of Nicole around 1:30. Okay.
And she called my mom to see if my mom could come and get me.
Mm-hmm. And
she was too sick, she couldn't.
Okay, so you got home around 5:30 then. Did you notice anything unusual when you got home?
I noticed there was a lot of paper, scripted paper on the floor, like from their mouse cage. It was everywhere.
Oh, they have a mouse?
A mouse, they have a ferret. And those little pieces of paper were everywhere.
Do they use like shredded paper in the mouse? Okay.
Yeah. A shredded paper machine that he just found.
Okay.
Kid's a thief. I'm convinced of that.
So you get home, there's a lot of the shredded paper.
Yeah. It didn't really look weird. I mean, I walked up, the truck was there, and their car was there. I was like, oh my God. So I banged on the door really hard 3 times,
mm-hmm.
And I did it twice. And finally, Nikki came to the door. And I said, what's going on? Why is the truck here? Where is he?
Mm-hmm.
And she started crying.
Mm-hmm.
And apologizing. And I couldn't figure out what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And she took me by my hand and we walked down to the bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
The bedspread was missing. There was stuff all over the place. And when I vacuumed the next morning, I picked up a piece or 2 of glass.
Okay.
So that's pretty weird right there.
Okay.
Jerry, please. Oh, please, don't die. Jerry. Tell me what happened. Tell me who hurt you.
What Kristen doesn't have the strength to mention here is something that will confirm what police already know, that Gary died in that house, and that Kristen's own daughter covered it up. Because as soon as Kristen entered, she remarked about the overwhelming stench of bleach, and considering the fact that Chris hadn't touched a cleaning product the entire time he lived there, Kristen knew deep down what had happened, but she's not ready to admit it, which might be why detectives choose to do what they do next.
Kristen, this is Barbara. She's one of our victim advocate type of people that we have that provide support for people. And
I'm Barbara Rockwell. And that's what I'm here for, is just to provide some support for you and help you in any way I can. Okay?
Did you?
What I need to do, I just want to finish our conversation here. And like I said, the reason why we call somebody like this, she's more equipped to provide, because I know you're very concerned and you have a million and one questions, and especially sometimes we can't answer them to the best of our ability or give you the support that you need. So that's why we have people help us out on this. But I did have a question for you. When you tell me that Nicole was apologizing to you, why was she apologizing to you?
Because she was so nasty with me on the phone.
Okay, is that what she was saying? Mom, I'm sorry I was nasty to you?
She didn't come out and say that, but
What did she say?
I'm just so sorry. And then when she explained to me what was going on, she kept saying she was sorry.
What did she say was going on?
That he'd been gone since Sunday night. He
Okay.
never came home.
Okay.
What the police don't tell Kristen on camera is that sadly they have located her husband. Gary was found by chance in a landfill nearby, a landfill that was utilized by the company and trucks that picked up the trash at the apartment complex where the family lived. Police don't tell Kristen that at the moment, but they have no problem telling it to her daughter, who within seconds of sitting down with interrogators, cracks and begins to tell them what her boyfriend did to her stepfather.
Did he tell you what he did? What did he say?
Where? In the head?
I think that's where he did it. I didn't look.
Did he tell you how many times?
I think he said 3.
Did you ever see him? Did you see Jerry?
For a split second, but
Where was he?
in the bathroom.
Okay, it happened in the bathroom?
Floor.
In the bathroom?
Yes, it was the bathroom door that was really broken.
Okay.
Did you switch the doors?
Yes.
Okay. Nicole, what happened with Jerry's body? What did that do?
He wrapped him up in
In the comforter that's missing?
first he put him in a tarp.
Mm-hmm.
And then he covered him up with the blanket.
And then what?
Put him in the dumpster.
Look at me.
You put him in a dumpster, the one out by the house on this side?
Yes.
You didn't put him in the truck?
I put him in the truck and moved him to the dumpster.
So you brought the truck to the back of the house?
Yes.
And then you drove it to the dumpster?
Yes.
Okay. So you didn't, that's where you put him? Okay, you did not drive to West Palm Beach, you didn't drive to another dumpster?
No.
He was put in that dumpster?
Yes.
Look at me.
There's a floor mat in the back of that pickup truck. And it looks like it's got blood on it. Does that possibly come from the bathroom?
No.
You cleaned everything up?
Yes. I remember when they had to clean everything up.
How much blood was there?
Oh, God. I just want to take everything back before I can say anything. It was too late.
Okay.
He's gonna hate me. I didn't want to do
far as being in the bathroom, was he in the tub or was he on the floor of the bathroom? Where would he have been?
It was on the floor, and then after Chris put him in the tarp, he moved him into the tub.
Okay.
Nicole, where'd you get the tarp from, or where'd Chris get the tarp from?
We bought it because we like to go camping. We got it to cover our bed.
You didn't buy it just for this?
No, we bought it when we were in California.
Okay.
What about the sword? How long's Chris had that?
I don't know. He likes to collect them.
Was there any drugs in Jerry's room?
I think so, but I'm not sure if it's what I thought it was.
Okay. We found some garbage in the dumpster today. Pill bottles, Jerry's pill bottles and stuff. How did you put those in there?
No.
No, you didn't clean that up. Everything you did was done on Monday?
Yeah.
Okay, and when you moved to the dumpster, what time was that? If the attack happened at 7 in the morning, when did you bring him to the dumpster?
I think it was about 12.
Noontime? And you weren't afraid anybody was going to notice this?
I was.
Did anybody see you?
No.
Okay. Do you know what day they pick up the dumpsters? Do you know what day they come to pick up the dumpsters?
I think it was yesterday morning.
You think it was when?
Yesterday morning.
Yesterday morning? So,
I think I don't know.
okay, so he was in the dumpster from Monday to Thursday?
Yes.
Yes? What was he doing while you were cleaning up?
Holding the baby.
He was holding the baby. Okay. All right, so he did a little cleaning, but not a lot of cleaning. But he had already put him in the tarp and had wrapped him in the comforter? Okay. You told me you saw Jerry for a short time. Okay. I don't understand if whether, because one part you said he was wrapped up and then you said you saw him for a brief
It
second.
was when we walked back in their house after our walk. He was still there.
Gary was cornered in the bathroom and with not just a knife or a sword, but a replica samurai sword owned by Chris. Not only did he get killed by his daughter's loser boyfriend, but with his loser collectible.
But, as she'll soon reveal, Gary isn't the only person they were trying to kill, because in their mind, Gary wasn't the only bad influence in the home.
Nicole, what do you think Chris is going to tell us?
I don't know.
You think he'll tell the truth?
He might. I don't know.
Is he going to tell me you did this?
No.
Okay, Nicole, I got 2 more questions for you, and we're going to bring your baby over here, and you can feed him. I guess your mom says he's hungry. So we're going to let you go across the hall here and sit on the couch. All right, so calm down about that. All right? Just 2 questions to wrap up. Back at the beginning, you said that you and Chris were talking about this and planning this for about 2 months. Was that accurate? Yep. Okay. Did you ever discuss how this was going to happen? I mean, what was the planning? I mean, we never really got into that.
We mentioned, about the sleeping pills, making it look like both do so much drugs.
Right.
Because my mom has attempted it so many times.
Okay. That was one thing. Okay, but that wasn't this case. You guys didn't drug him first?
No.
Okay. Did you ever talk about the sword? Or did Chris ever talk about the sword? Did that come up?
It was probably going to be the basic weapon they used if we couldn't.
Okay. So that was discussed, that part of it. Is that, we can and use a sword. What were the other options? That was it. Either we're going to do it with pills or we're going to use a sword. Okay. And at what time was it decided that, you know, the sword was going to be it? When did you give up on the pills? The night before?
The whole night we were waiting.
Okay, so that whole night you guys were out there waiting. Okay. You don't sleep well at night? No? All right.
We both have insomnia.
Okay. Is there anything we have forgot to ask that you think is important that we need to know? That's important.
No, I just want to know what's going to happen to me and my baby.
Well, we'll know that after we get done talking with Chris. Okay, we're going to talk to him next. And I told you we're going to bring him over and you're going to go feed him right now. Okay?
Is my mom in there?
No, your mom is down at the other end of the hall.
Okay.
Okay, it'll be just you and him.
Okay,
All right.
I don't think she wants to see me.
Well, I don't know. I haven't spoken to her yet, but it'll be you and him and another detective. Obviously is going to be sitting on there. Okay? But we'll give you as much privacy as we can. We understand, breastfeeding is private, but we'll do the best we can. So there's nothing else you want to add for us.
That's it.
All right. Well. All right. Come on across the hall.
Go to Kyle.
Kristen goes across the hall to feed her infant. There, alone, she's forced to sit with the fact that she's lied to the police. Because as we said, it wasn't just Gary they tried to kill, it was her mother, and unfortunately for her, Chris has no problem telling the police that. Well, after they get over the whole excuses part of the interrogation. Initially, Chris confidently tells law enforcement the same timeline of events that he told Kristen.
So really, I only want you to walk me through the last day that you guys saw Jerry, which would be Sunday, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Sunday? Yeah, Sunday.
Okay. Walk me
That'd
through
be
it.
a very short day then, because
Okay.
the only time we saw him was in the morning. He cleaned out the guinea pig cage.
You guys have a guinea pig?
Kristen has a guinea pig, and we're trying to get rid of it because it's a hassle. We have a ferret. Our ferret is not a hassle. Our ferret does not shed, and our ferret does not attack things.
Okay.
We've taught our ferret well.
Attacking guinea pig. Never
Yeah,
heard of that.
no, the guinea pig will bite anybody that tries to grab it.
Okay.
So we're trying to.
Well, go ahead. Sorry, finish
But-
your Sunday story.
Yeah, pretty much after that, we were in the living room all day. I think maybe in the afternoon he was going to go to the store. But I don't. Oh no, he left. He left, but I don't know if he actually went to the store. He was gone for maybe like an hour or so, I think. And then after that, he pretty much stayed in the room all day.
Is that normal for him?
That's normal for both him and Kristen.
Okay, they stay in the room.
Staying in the room all day, unless she gets a burst of energy and she'll come out and clean for 3 days straight. That's irritating.
Okay.
And then after that, just before 11, I was in the bathroom.
11 morning or 11 at night?
Afternoon, at night.
Okay.
I was in the bathroom, doing my thing, and I overheard him talking on the phone. It was kind of muffled because it was through the wall. Talking on the phone, and he started getting louder and louder and louder, sounding like he was really pissed off at something. And because we just got Kyle to sleep, we decided to go over to the library, Blake Library. And the library is closed at night, but their wireless internet is left on overnight. As long as we get out of there by 4:30, I think, we'll be fine. Because I think it's at 4:30 or 5 the sprinklers kick on.
Okay.
Not fun. We had to have one. So we went there until about 1:30. These aren't exact times. This is general, because I don't remember the exact. But we got back home at about 1:30, and the house was just looked like a tornado went right through it.
Can you describe it for me, Chris?
Oh, stuff was all over the place. The newspapers that I have, because I'll go out and just before they take the newspapers out of the free newspaper stands, I'll go collect a bunch of them so that we can shred it for free mouse bedding, because we have mice too.
It's got just a rodent population in
Oh
there,
yeah,
huh?
we like mice, and ferrets. But I had a bunch of those, like, maybe 15. They were thrown all over the place. My laptop looked like it had been thrown across the room. The plug was taken apart. We used her laptop at the library. It has a bigger screen, so you can watch movies better on it. The whole house just looked just like that. You know, that's just the living room. The whole house, like in the kitchen, there was not napkins, but hand towels and washcloths all over the floor. Not the bedroom door. It's not the bedroom door. We moved the bedroom door to the bathroom. The bathroom door was the one that was broken.
Okay, why did you move the door?
Because we need a bathroom door.
Okay.
And,
Okay, that's a logical thing.
Yeah, having my son in the house, having nurses come to the house, they're going to wonder why we don't have a bathroom door for one. And because it's not just me and my fiance in the house, you know, we want that
Two other
privacy.
adults, right?
Mother-in-law's in the house. Your mother-in-law, or soon-to-be mother-in-law's in the house.
Yeah, so we wanted that privacy, so I went ahead and just moved the bathroom door over to, or the bedroom door over to the bathroom and threw the bathroom door in the garbage. Because if I could show you on this door?
Sure.
It was split, like right about here, like almost in half.
What was the make of the door? Was it an
Hollow.
cheap interior wooden door?
Really cheap. Like,
Okay.
It was like cardboard mesh through it. That's how I got this cut. Because I was moving it and it slipped and I tried to grab it again and I cut my hand.
All right. So even a kid could probably break through it or something.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I broke into a door just like that, just pushing on it on accident.
Okay.
So it's a really flimsy door, you know. He could have fallen into it. He's really unstable. He fell off a ladder, when was it? Almost a year ago, probably. And it screwed up his nerve endings, so he walks with kind of a limp and a wobble. And he kind of stumbles when he walks sometimes, so he could easily just stumbled into the door and just broke it. I mean, it wouldn't have taken that much to break a door like that.
Was there any blood on the door?
Other than what came from my hand, I didn't see anything. I mean, there could have been, but had it have dried, it would have...
Because the door's still brown, dark brown,
Yeah.
afterwards? Okay.
Yeah. So if there was any and it had dried, it would, I'm pretty sure, blended in with the door. I've seen plenty of dried blood, my own. So, you know, I know what color it turns. It would have probably blended in pretty good with that door. So unless I was actively looking for it, I wouldn't have noticed it.
Okay. So what did you guys do?
Well, I started cleaning the house. After that, I mean, I'm allergic to bleach and ammonia. I've been allergic to it since I was 13. It just gives me a rash. But our bathroom needed like really deep cleaning anyway, so my wife went ahead and started cleaning the hell out of the bathroom, and I went and straightened everything else back up. And
What was wrong that it needed a deep cleaning with bleach?
it hadn't been mopped or anything in 2 weeks, so we usually mop with bleach anyway because it kills all the germs, especially in the bathroom with my son in the house. You know, we want to make sure there's no germs whatsoever. We don't want him getting sick. So we usually use bleach. We don't use any ammonia or anything, but.
Okay. Do you dilute it at all?
50%. 50-50 water and bleach.
Okay.
Because if it's any stronger than that, I have to leave the house because the smell of it.
I think you'd have to
So
leave
most
the
people
entire
leave the
neighborhood.
house.
Yeah.
I think everybody that lives down there around you would have to leave
Yeah.
deep clean with any stronger solution than that. Okay, and then what? What did you do with the door?
That I threw in the dumpster
Okay.
because, you know,
Where was Jerry?
when we came back, we didn't see him.
Was the truck there?
Yeah, the truck was there. Everything, as far as we knew, nothing was missing, you know, except for Jerry was gone.
The bathroom door was thrown away for one reason and one reason only. It was covered in blood evidence.
Nicole isn't too fond of her mom.
Maybe she wasn't going to say. Why is she not too fond of her mom?
Because her mom suffers from paranoid schizophrenia, and her mom either likes me or hates me and can't make up her mind.
Depending upon the day, right?
Practically. That's exactly what
That's just
it
a typical mother-in-law. That's nothing with paranoid schizophrenia.
No. It's like, she'll say that she absolutely loves me, and then she'll start yelling that, you know, one dish was not washed and say that I'm the worst person in the world. Just because...
That's just a mom.
I don't even do the dishes. I work, you know. We have this whole thing. I work, so I pay some of the bills. They do all the cleaning.
Okay.
I'll help my wife clean, you know, especially now that Kyle's here.
Are you guys actually married or not? Because I noticed
Legally.
she's wearing a matching ring.
Half and half. We haven't legally been married, but through our religion we've been married. So,
What religion is that?
Wicca.
Okay.
So, if we were
Did you get married in a Wiccan ceremony?
Yeah. In fact, I was the one that actually performed the ceremony. It's just a two-person ceremony. There
Are you
were several witnesses.
Are you like a priest?
I am a high priest.
Oh, no kidding. Cool. Don't understand it, don't know much about it, but I heard of it, and I know there's a group in Jensen.
Yeah.
Yep.
There's definitely, just like Catholicism and Christianity, there's different types.
Right.
And I come from a very small type.
Mm-hmm.
And I got my priesthood just before going into the military, and they have nothing against going into the military.
Right.
So I was allowed to do that just to experience it, and this was the reason why I wanted to join the military anyway. But
What are some of the things that you believe in? That's, you know, I don't know how different it is from Christianity, but what is explain in the short, if you can, on what the Wiccan religion is and how it works.
First and foremost, there are more than one God, which is almost a pretense. I mean, if God created man in his image, where did woman come from? Doesn't make sense for the Christian part.
Right.
So we believe, my sect believes in worshiping the elements of nature: earth, wind, water, fire, light, and dark.
Sure.
Dark being masculine, light being feminine, but they both intertwine. Most of it is just pretty much worship of nature. There's no sacrifices or anything. That's a completely different religion. That's paganism.
Right.
In a nutshell, most of the Christian and Ten Commandments came originally from Wicca. You know, harm not your neighbor.
Right.
For us, it's the golden rule: and ye harm none, do what you will. Which pretty much means don't hurt yourself, don't hurt other people, don't hurt animals. Yeah.
People can be evil, though.
Yeah.
Okay.
People, every human being is born with two seeds: the seed of good and the seed of evil. Okay, it's the basic principality of life. Yin and yang is the Chinese.
Right.
That, for us, is represented in the crown chakra, which is a little aura that sits right up here. People who are trained to see it can see either a light-colored glow, which would make them mostly good, or a reddish tint, which would make them kind of more evil.
I'm not professionally trained as a Wiccan high priest, and I can tell you, Homie's chakra is glowing red. Once again, Chris goes on to claim repeatedly that Gary was fighting on the phone with someone before he disappeared, and that he must have been abducted. Police have phone records, and they know for a fact that that's not true.
Are you upset that he's gone?
A little. You know, I'm upset because it's upsetting Kristen. You know, I have nothing against Kristen, even though she acts kind of strange sometimes. But, I mean, it's upsetting.
You don't miss him personally?
So, really, no. I mean, but do I miss the fact that, you know, he was around and she wasn't going completely psychotic? Yeah. But, it's just his whole demeanor. Just since I got there in November, you know, just like snobbish. And I try to say something, I try to give him my hand with anything, and just be about it and say, no, I don't need your hand. Not necessarily like that, but that's pretty much the context of what I got. You know, and then he'd just sit there and start arguing. You know, I like to cook a lot, but I don't cook bland food. I add a lot of seasonings to it. He'll argue with me about the fact that I put seasoning on my food. And it's not the way it tastes, it's just the way it smells.
Okay.
Like, you can't just go outside to get away from the smell of seasonings, because if he eats it, he says it's good. But the seasoning upsets him when he smells it, because it smells to him like it's burning. You know, he just argues over the smallest things.
Is that like a constant thing with him?
Pretty much, at least once a week. He'll argue over the smallest thing with me.
How's Nicole get along with him? Because this isn't her dad, right?
No, she practically stays away from him. She doesn't like him either. It's just his whole personality towards me, she doesn't like it. So she stays away from him as much as possible. You know, if he comes out, she'll go in the living room. And lately, you know, while she's been breastfeeding, he seems to be coming out trying to watch her. So, you know, we've been just trying to stay out of his way. Usually we'll sit in the bedroom, but it's really hard for her to breastfeed on bed. So she goes out and sits in the rocking chair.
What's your gut feeling? Is he alive or is he dead?
Honestly, I only really get a gut feeling if I've known somebody well enough, and I don't know him well enough.
Okay.
To me, it seems like he just left. You know, I don't feel like he's dead, but I don't feel like he's around anymore. You know, it's kind of like, you know, the last time I had this kind
You
of...
don't expect him to come back?
Yeah, it's an iffy feeling. The last time I had this feeling was with my dad, who I barely knew. You know, he left the Christmas I was 7. Like, that was the last time we saw him. We saw him for about 3 days, and then he was gone. And I had this kind of iffy feeling, you know. I was like, I'm not sure if he's coming back, but, you know, he could. And that's just how I'm feeling right now. It's kind of what I'm...
You think Jerry could come back now?
Maybe. I mean, if he's finally done being pissed off about everything. Unless he really did leave to go start a new life somewhere. I mean, it's not unheard of for a lot of people to do that. Like I explained, I've done it 3 times already. Now, I'm probably going to do it again, but this time I'm going to have a little more
Baggage?
to bring with me. I wouldn't say baggage. It's not baggage, but I have a little more to bring with me. Oh, wait, I guess you could say I did it 4 times because I left California with her. So, yeah.
Okay.
Well, what would you say if we tell you he's dead? I'm verifying he's dead. He was found in a landfill in Palm Beach County. How does that make you feel?
Horrible. I don't like it when people die, especially if I know them.
He's dead in the landfill.
Yep.
So this investigation is not a missing person investigation anymore. It's a homicide investigation.
That really...
Yep, it does. So, remember I told you at the house, and I told you and Nicole and Kristen that we're going to look at the family members first, because that's what we do, and then we back up and we go to the outside. So that's why Kristen, Nicole, and you were here being interviewed first, and then we go looking outside. All right?
Not really. I don't wish anybody dead, even if they're the biggest in the world.
Okay. Did you do anything to him?
No.
All right.
The only thing I'd ever done to him was argue. I mean, we've gotten pretty intense in arguments before to the point where I felt like I wanted to hit him, but I never did.
You have no idea how he got in that landfill?
No.
This is his cell phone records. We've already subpoenaed them. We already have them. He was last on his phone Sunday at 6:30 in the evening. He was not on his cell phone at 11 o'clock at night, like you said he was. And like Nicole said he was. He's not. We know he's not. Okay? You tell us that the house is all torn apart. You cleaned everything up. So from where I sit, we suspect you and Nicole. The mother's not there. Do you understand where I'm coming from, how it looks from my seat looking in?
Yeah.
You look guilty, okay? Now, you told Detective Porcelli you've seen the CSI shows before.
Yeah.
Do you know what luminol is?
No.
Luminol is what forensic detectives use to find evidence of blood that's been washed away. You can wash blood all you want. Use bleach, and it's going to leave behind. There could be blood in these walls, and you can't see it. The luminol brings it out. Okay? We're there now. We've been there for hours. Since you left, we've been there. Okay? We have blood in the hallway. We have blood in the bathroom. We've got blood in the shop vac. All right? We know something happened to him in that house. All right? Mm-hmm. So now you know as much as we do. You and Nicole are there. Your story isn't matching up. So either you're going to change your story, or you're going to continue to tell me you don't know what happened, but you got to know something.
Well, I know he was talking to somebody.
Not at 11 o'clock at night he wasn't. That's there. We verified that. Okay?
Okay.
We found a sword under your bed. We luminoled the sword. There's blood trace on your sword. Okay?
I don't have a sword.
There's a sword under your bed.
All I collect is daggers.
Okay, well, I'm just going by what they told me from the scene. Okay? There's some kind of cutting instrument, a knife or a big knife or a sword. I'm going by what they called me. Under the bed, it's got trace amounts of blood on it. Okay, now that'll go to the lab and that DNA will come back and it's gonna match, I'm confident it'll match Jerry's, okay? Initially, we were told that it was the bedroom door that was kicked in, and then today it's no, it was the bathroom and we're changing doors, fine, okay? I've got too many inconsistencies here, Chris.
Well, I told Kristen that it was the bathroom door.
All right, well, with the police, you know, since Monday have been kind of involved in this. What the point I'm trying to get to you is that right now, you look guiltier than hell. Guiltier than hell. You don't like him. He doesn't like you.
Nicole doesn't like him either.
Right, well, that's true too. And he says something to piss you off, you knock him over the head, you hit him, I don't know, all right? But he's dead in a landfill, okay? And they can tell us that that garbage came from Martin County. They can tell us what geographic area the dumpster came from. Astorwood is in that geographic area. And what this is called is the circumstantial evidence. And it is so building up right now that Jerry ended up in that dumpster and then ended up in a landfill, and then by the grace of God was found by the guys moving garbage around. Okay? Now I know what killed him. They've told us what killed him. Okay? He got his throat, and a couple times too. We have a knife, a dagger, a sword, whatever, under your bed with trace amounts of blood. We have a crime scene that's been cleaned up. It's been cleaned up, but we can see it. We know. All right? We have a shop vac in the house. Okay? You and Nicole are going to be blamed for this. All right? If something happened and it was self-defense or you snapped, you know, you've been a good person your whole life and you told us all about your religion, okay, and things happen. People don't mean for things to happen, but they do, okay?
Or Nicole snapped. She doesn't like him. She's not happy with her mother. You've got a new baby in the house. She's not getting any sleep. But...
Tell me what happened.
I'm telling you what I know.
Blood evidence was found in the bathroom in numerous places. In fact, the floor, walls, and counter lit up like a Christmas tree with luminol. It was undeniable that a murder had taken place there, yet for a few minutes, Chris continues to deny it, until finally, he gives up.
He was getting pissed off.
Who's getting pissed off?
Jerry.
Okay. About what?
I don't know. He's pissed off over everything, it seems, these days.
Okay, well, what brought us to the point of Jerry ending up in a landfill?
I just didn't even think, I just reacted.
Did he do or say something to you to make you react?
He tried to attack me. He tried to attack her.
When did this happen?
Early morning.
Sunday or Monday?
Monday.
About what time?
Like 5 or 6.
In the morning?
Yeah.
Okay. So the house was never in disarray?
It was, but, I mean...
As a result of what?
I don't know. You know, we left and came back and did a bunch of cleaning. We really did do that. We went to the library, 11 to 1:30-ish. Came back, and I'm assuming he did get pissed off.
Okay.
You know.
But whatever happened to him happened later that morning.
Yeah. I mean,
Okay, well, he described you said he's coming out to, describe what happened.
Well, I'm in the kitchen, and I go to the bedroom. I was in the kitchen getting breakfast. Go to the bedroom, and he starts coming out of the room, yelling, and every time, like ever since I was a kid, I've had a problem with somebody yelling at me. I would instinctively grab anything around me if I had to fight. I don't like to fight. I don't like brutality. If I can get out, I can, but being in a room like that, you're cornered.
Mm-hmm.
Instinctively, I just grabbed the nearest thing to me. You know,
What was it?
double-sided sword.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he lunged at me, and I kicked him back into the hallway, and I tried to run out the door, and he grabbed me, and I lost it.
Where did he grab you at?
Right around my neck.
Okay, you lost it. Just, what do you mean? You gotta describe that for us.
I just turned around and tried to break out of it, and it ended up. I didn't mean it.
Where'd
Right through here. And then after that, like, I just saw red and kept going.
multiple times?
Yeah,
Where?
I don't even remember. It just happened so fast.
Where do you think?
A couple more in the lung, probably in the throat, so he couldn't say anything. I don't know.
Where did this occur exactly in the house?
Just outside the bathroom.
Mm-hmm. How did the bathroom door break?
Him falling backwards into it.
Okay.
Where's Nicole at?
Walking. Kyle has a problem sleeping, so we usually take him out for a walk because the house is too smoky.
So she wasn't at home? Okay, then what happened? He fell into the bathroom?
After that, I just left. I had a little bit of blood on my hands, and I just cleaned it off.
Okay, and then you come back?
And then we just clean it up.
So we know what happened based on the crime scene, and we know what happened based on what Nicole told us. So there's some things you told us that aren't true. And you know which things they are.
We have yet to see a suspect who doesn't go for the self-defense angle first. Obviously, police know he's lying. But there's something else about Gary that tells them it's a complete lie. Gary wasn't the type to fight. He was largely the submissive person in the house, allowing his wife to make most decisions, and never raising a hand or voice at anyone, except to make an occasional snide remark at the freeloader in his home. Finally, after a few minutes of prodding, he admits that Gary's murder was no accident.
Did you figure that was going to be your last shot? Since Kristen was coming home anyways that day?
No, because I could have easily killed them both.
Would you have killed them both?
No.
Okay.
I mean,
really, as much as Nicole might not get along with her mother, would you kill your wife's mother? It's easier for him since he's just a step.
No. Doesn't matter who it is, it's not easy.
Maybe it would have been a less of an impact on her mental health.
In my heart, I feel he was an evil person.
What makes him an evil person?
His wife.
I'm asking your opinion, that's
He
it.
would constantly come out whenever my wife was sitting there trying to breastfeed our son. Like he was trying to be a peeping Tom about it.
Okay.
He cheated on his wife.
There's a lot of bad things about him that you just did not like.
That's not something a human being should be doing.
A good human being.
Any human being, it doesn't matter. You shouldn't be doing it.
Okay.
I concur as a father. I wouldn't like that either.
Mm-hmm.
Later at trial, Chris tried to claim that Kristen and Gary's alleged drug use is what drove him to murder. He was terrified that his child would grow up in a bad environment with bad influences, despite being a terrible influence himself, and despite what he's about to admit next.
All right, let me ask you this, Chris. You say you're not a violent person by nature. You really don't like violence. You're not a brutal person. You can't even watch cop brutality, or what you think was fighting or anything on TV if it's cop brutality or whatnot. Had you guys discussed any other way, maybe like a more passive way to kill him?
Yeah, sleeping pills.
What were you going to do with them?
Mix them into everything they drink because we don't drink anything they drink except for the milk.
Do you think they would have killed both of them?
That would have been nice.
Why? What happened to that plan?
Every time we put sleeping pills in something, they would stop drinking it.
Oh, you tried it? How many times did you try that?
3. She had nothing to do with that one. At all.
She doesn't know that you tried that?
She knows I tried it, but I mean...
Where did you get the pills from?
Walmart.
What kind of pills were they?
The generic kind. The really cheap sleep aid from...
Okay, that's why they're sleeping pills? Like the Equate brand, like the Walmart brand sleeping pills?
It's not Equate, it's something else. But it's, yeah.
A sleep aid.
Kristen had been drinking again. We tried to mix it in with her pineapple juice. She stopped drinking.
Fortunately, Kristen survived multiple attempts on her life after noticing that her drinks tasted off. In the end, Christopher was found guilty of murder and attempted murder and was sentenced to life in prison, plus an additional 60 years. On the stand, Nicole backpedaled, claiming that she only hurt her family members because Chris, who was abusive, forced her to. She ended up taking a plea deal and was sentenced to 50 years in prison. Shockingly, despite the fact that Nicole admitted to trying to murder her, Kristen begged the judge for leniency in her daughter's sentencing, leniency that the judge didn't give. Our thoughts are with Kristen and the family of Gary. Thank you for tuning in. Nearly 85% of everyone watching isn't subscribed. Your subscription and support would mean the world to us, so we can keep bringing you more content just like this. Before you go, check out one of our craziest cases right here, or one of my newest ones right here.